Not everybody is here because whatever life gets in the way, and some people had already made plans or appointments when since the class was supposed to be over already. But anyway, I wanted to take advantage to have a few more sessions with this wonderful group. I whatever you decide to do next semester, whether it's be finished or take the next level or take this level or whatever, I wish you much luck in your journey, and don't stop reading, and don't stop practicing. But it's been wonderful. I was very lucky. I don't know. I'm sure other people think they were, but I was very lucky to have such a nice group of women. So thank you. Okay, so rather than trying to teach something new this last day, unless there's something that somebody's really dying to do, and if you are really dying to do it, I wouldn't stop you. I would be willing to do that. But if you're not really dying to do something, I thought we would just go back and read some of the things, from the beginning, that when we were struggling a little bit, and see how wonderful you are and how much you've progressed. Yes, every single one of us has progressed, even me, since I learned about the metric. So I thought we would do that, if that's okay with everybody that's here. And does anybody dying to do a particular prayer that we haven't done? I didn't say dying, but whatever. Yes, Eileen.
I'm not dying. However, if we have time,
yes,
how about doing the kiddush over wine on Saturday before right after services?
Okay. I may do that today, or I'm looking for things. I don't know which class what class are you taking next semester? Are you taking anything or not?
Well, I was saying okay, but otherwise in future classes, if we can cover that, I mean, when we at your next level that you're teaching, if you can cover that also.
That's what I was going to ask you. If you were going to be in the intermediate in my class, I would start with that, because I want to do. I want to do a. Okay, so I'm gonna start with both. Not maybe the first day, or maybe yes or maybe no. The both kiddushes, I think, and because we're also going to do the kiddush for Pesach, because I'm going to do a lot with the Haggadah. So a lot of the stuff is the same, some is different, but I would like to do that, because that's something that we all hope to do it, on a regular basis. So yes, if we don't do it today, I'd like to do it next semester. Yes.
Will we be using Ein Keloheno, or are you going to assign a different book?
I don't think we're going. I don't think we're going to use a book, actually. I think we're going to do prayers, and we're going to do the Haggadah. And when I do the Haggadah, I'm still working on that, because I realize that all our Haggadot are at my son's house, since we have been doing Pesach there. So I have to get one back. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to send them in advance as attachments, so that you can download them and print them out, because everybody has a different Haggadah. I'm not going to ask you to buy, one particular one. So what my idea is to send copies of the pages, and then obviously if you want, you can find it in the Haggadah that you use, if you have them around somewhere. But so that we can, and I'd rather not share the screen, because if I share the screen, I can't see everybody. So I'd rather ask you to either use a different device to read it, or print the pages out in advance, or whatever. Because I'd rather not have to share the screen. Besides that, my technology, I have really learned how to do it, but I'd rather see everybody's faces when we are doing the reading. So that's my plan for next semester. Any other questions? Arlene, you didn't unmute yourself. You don't have a question. You're just okay. I thought you had a question. Okay. Any other questions? No. Okay. All right. So I have written down Kiddush for next semester. I'm also going to do a little bit more with Kadisha Tome, the Mourner's Kaddish, and the Kaddishes, because I know that's something I'd really like everybody to feel comfortable. If you want to, have to be saying it, I'd like you to be comfortable reading it. And also, unfortunately, and I met too many leaders read it too fast. And I would suggest with any of the prayers that if you find that whoever your leader is in davening, if they generally read too fast, that you tell them, because I did it. I have to say, we have one of our rabbis, when they do the Reader's Kaddish, the really long one, he did it very fast, and it's hard because it is the Aramaic, and your tongue can get twisted in your mouth. And I asked him, I said, could you read a little slower? And he does. So please feel free. I'm sure everybody, any of the prayer leaders would be happy to know that you care enough to do that. Anyway, all right. So I am going to suggest that we go back to the beginning, just to read for Hebrew practice, because first of all, part of the class is not only to read the particular prayers, but it's to learn how to read. And once you know the words, like we're starting to be familiar with some of the words and we read them, even if we're signing them out, all of a sudden it dawns that we know that word. Yerushalayim, I saw that with somebody, I think last week. We're sounding it out, and then we say it and we look and we realize it says Yerushalayim. So the idea is to be able to read the prayers, but also to have these words and these letters, be able to read them, even if it's in a different context, in a different prayer. So that's the idea. But I'd like us to see how far we've come, which is a long way. So I'm going to start with Ein Eloheinu, and I'm going to give 3 different possibilities. In the Slim Shalom, it's on page 182. In the Lev Shalem, it's 204. And in the Ein Eloheinu, it's page 10. So those are your 3 options. I give you a moment to find the space. I also have another siddur which I had brought last time. I thought somebody might have it. I have the small Sim Shalom that covers everything, and including the weekly Torah readings. And I will be giving the pages in this also for next semester, because somebody said that that's the book they're going to have in Florida. So anyway, we are on page 10, 182 in Slim Shalom, or 204 in Lev Shalem. And I am going to read it. And I want to thank whoever it was that made this suggestion, by the way. Now I don't think it's as important as it was in the beginning, of me reading first, because I was listening to some of the other classes just to see what they were doing, to try to figure out what I should be doing. And most of them did not do that. And I really think it's a good idea, especially for people that are still not totally comfortable with the alphabet and the vowels, to hear the way it should be. So I thank whoever it was that made that suggestion.
Judi, do you have the page for the Sim Shalom, the big one? Because I know it's in the Shabbat service part, but I can't find it.
It's almost at the that one I didn't take because I didn't know anybody had that. I've been giving the pages all along. If you go to the Shabbat service morning, it's at the almost end. So if you find this, if you in the Shabbat service, morning service, I'm almost at the end. You can go to the last page actually. And,
okay, they put it together, Shabbat and holiday festival in one.
Yes,
so
but you want to do the Shabbat and festivals one.
It's 182. In Eloheinu?
Yeah, but no, it's 182 in the Slim Shalom. It's not. She has the full one. The Slim Shalom is only Shabbat and festivals. This one, and she has the big version, which isn't the same page number, unfortunately. And
is it in the book you sent, the book that we bought? You know, the one that you. No. I have that. Also.
I don't.
It's not in there.
Just as a point of information, this doesn't hurt to know where the prayers are. If you look, it says Musaf service. Okay, on the right hand page it says Musaf. On the left it says Shabbat and festivals. Yeah, at the very end is a Don Olam, okay, and then there's Yisker after that. But if you go before Don Olam, what prayer comes before Don Olam?
Elenu.
Right, Elenu, but also Milner's Cottage is in between, but Elenu, and then before Elenu is Ein Kelohenu.
Elohenu. Okay, I'll find it.
Okay?
Thank
Okay.
you.
You have Barry, do you know where it is now? I had it this whole time, not the whole time, the first half, but nobody was using it. So I put it away. You know where it is, Barry? He's not paying attention to me, sorry. Okay, so that's the story. Does everybody else have it? Let me just give 1 second and see. 1 second to it. I did have it with me, but nobody was using it, so I put it away. You know, Barry? Oh, you have to go to class. If you can find the regular essential on the one we used to use in Donovan. Okay, I did have it, but now I don't. Okay. I can't share my screen now because I don't have it. All right, so Ein Kelohenu. Now I want everybody to be looking. You really have to look at the letters. Don't worry about it. Go. You have to go. Read it. Please read it while we're doing it, even if you feel like you know what you do. Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkenu, Ein Kamoshienu. Mi Elohenu, Mi Adonenu, Mi Chemalkenu, Mi Chemoshienu. Noda Elohenu, Noda Ladonenu, Noda Lemalkenu, Noda Lemoshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkenu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkenu, Atahu Moshienu. Atahu Shektiru Avotenu Lifanecha et Ketoret Asamim. Okay, I ask for a volunteer to read the first verse, the first 2 lines. Okay, first Andrea and then Eileen.
Ein Kelohenu,
Good.
Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkenu, Ein Kamoshienu.
Perfect. Great. Okay. Eileen.
Me, Kemalkenu.
No, look.
Me,
Look.
Kelohenu. Me, Kelohenu.
Good.
Me,
Good.
Kadonenu. Me, Kemalkenu. Me, Kamoshienu.
Perfect. It's lovely and it's perfect and you can get away with it, but there's no dot in that letter. So it's really a ch sound, not a k sound.
For which
Okay, you see
one?
the difference?
For
All
which-
the second words, the second word in each one of the lines. You see the difference between the ein and the me? There's no dot in the second word. It's Kelohenu rather than Kelohenu. It's Chadonenu rather than Kadonenu. Okay, you see the difference?
I do now.
Nobody will probably hear you if you're singing with everybody else anyway, but just so you know the difference, it's because of it's a grammatical thing because it's after the yud rather than a nun. So it's a ch sound rather than the k sound. Okay, no dot. Okay, perfect. No da. Guys, you could yes, Arlene, excuse me.
Nodet Elohenu, Nodet La Donenu, Nodet Lemalkenu, Nodet Lemoshienu.
Good. Okay, let's go. This is the Joyce. Thank you. And then Lynette.
Okay, so anyway, it's page 5, it's 508, if anybody needs to know.
Great. Thank you, Joyce. I'm glad you
Okay.
found it.
Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. So I have a question under the,
Sure.
in the second line,
Yes.
after Baruch Malkeinu. Now there's
Yeah.
the ka, with the A sound under it, and then the meteg,
Yeah,
that little line. So,
the A
I'm
is
always-
part of the, yeah,
so can you like say that word for me the right way? Because I'm
it's
not sure.
Malkenu rather than Malkenu. It's Malkenu. The
Okay, so the
K-
accent is
The
on the
K,
K.
the accent is where the metek is. That's exactly
Okay.
right. That's what we learned. That's what I learned this term from everybody that's here. I was forced to learn it. It's the accent, and I think from everything I've ever seen, it's the next to the last syllable. It's never like moves to the first. The ones that I've seen, it seems to always be the next to the last syllable.
All right, thank you
Normally,
very
in
much.
words, yeah, the accent is on the last one, but with the metek, it becomes on that syllable. So it's Malkenu rather than Malkenu. Good. Okay. Now I got lost. Who volunteered for Atah? Somebody volunteered for Atah. This is still pretty easy, guys.
That would be me.
Lynette.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lynette.
Okay. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkenu, Atahu Moshienu.
Great. So all of it, if you can look at the page that you did, everything except the first word changed in each one of them in each verse. And the second word was the same except for a prefix in every one of these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, except for we added the who because we're talking about God. Who you're talking to God. But it's mostly repetition here. The last line is a little more tricky. Who feels up to it? Somebody I know. Celia, thank you. You are up to it.
I'm gonna try.
You're gonna do it. I'm not worried.
Atahu Shahik Taru
Hebrew, perfect.
Avu
Yeah.
Enu
Good.
Lift Neck Et Katirat Ha. Got it. 2 dots or 1 dot under the F. Ha Sa Mim.
Perfect. But read one more time because the one word I wasn't sure what you read.
The last part. or
No,
from
you
the-
can start from the beginning. It doesn't hurt everybody to hear it because this is a
Atahu.
hard line.
Atahu Shahik Ta.
T. Perfect.
Avotenu
Good.
Faneka
Good.
Ka To Ret Hasamim.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm glad I asked again. That is actually perfect. Good. Good, good, good. Okay. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now we did after, so now we're gonna move to, now since we're almost perfect on that one, we're gonna move to the Elenu. It is, if you were on the Ein Kelohenu, it should, all you have to do is turn the page. If you're in any book other than the textbook, which is on page 18, you just turn from the Ein Kelohenu, the next one is Elenu.
Are all the Elenus the same? I know, like, some of
Yes.
the Amitas are different, but all the Elenus are
Yes.
the same. Okay.
Correct. There is no different Elenu. That's exactly right. Yes, the Kadishes are different, and some the meters are different, particularly weekdays, and weekday is different from Shabbat and holiday. The Shabbat and the holiday are the same except for the specific paragraphs for the holiday. But you take out the ask fors on Shabbat. You're not supposed to ask for it, even though we do, obviously. We do, and if you ever pay attention when they do the like ask for the refuah shlema, they say we know we're not supposed to be asking for things, but we do, obviously, because that's when we're in shul. Yes, but the Elenu, every Elenu. Does anybody know where the Elenu started? Which part of the service? Which service, I should say, not part of the service. Which service? High holidays was the first time. It was only in the high holidays. And then people liked it so much, they decided to put it in every single service that we have. And it is always almost at the end. How many exact prayers are afterwards, it varies, but it's almost always, it is always near the end. Okay, and it is the same every time. That's why it's a good prayer to learn, because you do it a lot. Yes, Cindy.
My kids call it the time for lunch prayer.
I like it. I told the story that my favorite Hebrew school teacher was the one that said this was her favorite prayer. And she said the reason it was her favorite prayer, no matter what service she was at, it meant it was almost over.
Right.
So yes, so that is a reason to like it. And it is done frequently. And so we are going to do it now. I'm going to read the, so anyway, Lev Shalom 205, Slim Shalom 183, and 18 in the textbook. So I'm going to read the first paragraph. Elenu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shalo asanu kagoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama. Shalo sam chalkenu kahem, v'go ralenu kachol hamonam. Okay, who do I have that volunteer? I know you can do it. If you only want to do it to the first line, I'll let you do that if you feel comfortable. Okay, Arlene Schwartz.
Abea la adon hakol la tate gedula le yoser bereshit shlo asanu go ye ha ratson sot velo shama samanu mish hot ha adama.
Good.
Okay, adama shalo sham hel lo
Helkenu.
helkenu.
You see it?
Yeah, I can. Kahem vi go ralenu kehol hamonam.
Perfect. Exactly. Okay. Then now this is the part where we bow. Anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. Okay. Who is my volunteer, Cindy?
Okay. Okay. Nachnu Korim Umish Tachavim Umodim Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim Hakdosh.
Look, just stop and look at the word. Just look at it. Don't sound it out. Just look at it.
Hakadosh.
Thank you. Good.
Hakadosh Baruch Hu.
Good. I just want to say that hopefully we're starting to do a little of that, of recognizing words, especially words we see a lot. So we don't have, even though we know all the letters, we can just actually recognize the word. That's I just wanted to show you that I thought you would do that, and you could. Good. Okay. Now, on Shabbat and holidays, many of our shuls sing the next paragraph as well. And as I said before, I said part of what we're doing is while we're learning, trying to learn these prayers that we do on a regular basis and prayers that we do out loud, because I want people to feel comfortable davening. It's also just to learn how to read, not just this prayer, but other prayers as well. So we're going to go and do the next paragraph. You may do it out loud, you may not, but it doesn't hurt to know how to read it. Shehu noteh shamayim v'yoseh haaretz umoshav yikaro shamayim. I'm sorry, I'm so used to singing this. I didn't start with Lifnei. That was the first part. Lifnei melech. Okay. Yeah, start again. I'm gonna sing it first, and
Hey,
then I'm
where are
gonna
you?
say it. After we did the anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. Okay, we bend and then we get up. Shehu noteh shamayim v'yoseh haaretz umoshav yikaro hashamayim ima'al u'shchinatu zo v'govei meromim hu Eloheinu ein od emek malkeinu et zulato kakatu v'torato v'yadata hayom hashevota elavavecha ki Adonai hu Elohim v'shamayim mima'al v'al haaretz mitachat ein od. Okay, ein od. There's nobody like him. No one else. Okay, this is basically a prayer magnifying God. Okay, so who wants to start with the V'anachnu?
Where are you?
Guys, I'm after the first paragraph. I'm going back to the first paragraph. Ends with the go Elenu kachol hamonam. That's the first paragraph. Then
Where's
we go.
it at in the book? I mean, in
We're
the,
still in the Elenu. We're on Elenu. If you weren't on Elenu to begin with, you're not going to be on. The page before, the page after Enk Eloheinu is Elenu. Does everybody have the Elenu prayer? Yeah, okay. So the first paragraph that was read, Elenu l'shabeach, and it ended with the go Elenu kachol hamonam. Then the next little two lines, I know in my Siddur, the two lines are separated in the Slim Shalom. It starts with V'anachnu korim. Is everybody there? Okay. Yes, Cindy.
what page is it in the workbook? Because I'm lost here.
18. And it's 4A if you're on page 18.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's what I needed. Thank you.
Okay. V'anachnu. But we're going to be in trouble because the rest of it isn't in the workbook, I don't think. Let me see if it's in here. Let's see. Oh yeah, it is. No, it isn't. The rest of it isn't in the
That's
workbook.
why I'm lost. Can I?
Yeah,
what page-
I realize that why you're lost. If you're in the Slim Shalom, it's on page 183.
Okay, thank you.
The one that only has Shabbat and festivals. Or doesn't actually, it has more than Shabbat and festivals because it has other things, but it does, that's the book. It'll have like Erev, so it does have the regular mincha. Anyway. So V'anachnu. Somebody here, you sing this. I know if you ever go to shul, Eileen, thank you, Lynette, I'm gonna get you next. Eileen.
Okay. V'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech kol.
No?
Okay.
Wait, Lifnei Melech. What happened after Lifnei Melech? You blanked out.
I'm sorry?
You cut out after Lifnei Melech.
Oh, Liz name, that's good because I made mistakes then. Molkei Hamalchim, Molkei Hamalchim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu.
Perfect. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And you bow, bend your knee. It says we bend our knee and bow. So you either on Va'anachnu or Korim, just for the people that want to know the choreography. Okay. 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 Shehu.
Shehu notem shamayim.
Wait, no. Shehu. What was the next word?
No, notem, note.
Thank you.
Shamayim.
Good.
Yosef Aretz.
Good.
Shav.
No, what is it? What? I can't hear.
Moshev.
No, Shav, you were right the first time. Moshav, right?
Moshav. Yakaro.
Good.
Beshamayim. Mim Ma'al.
Good.
Keep
You want
going.
to stop? You can stop if you
No,
want to stop. It's up to you.
I don't care.
Whatever you like.
Okay.
I don't know how to push too much. Good.
Okay, no, it's okay. Uvshiv not uzo
Good.
begavahe.
It's Gove. Remember, it has the line and the dot or the long thing underneath. I'm not sure which book you're using. It's Gove Hey rather than Gav Hey.
Yeah, the love
Good.
shalom.
Yeah.
Meromim.
Good. All right, somebody else. Who Eloheinu? This is the okay, Celia.
Hu Eloheinu ein od.
Good. You have to keep going.
Emet Malkeinu Ephes Zulato. Ki
No, look at the
Kato.
dot. Just look at the vowels.
I can't tell how many dots it is.
It's a line. The ka is the you with red key, and it's ka actually.
Katov.
Two. Good.
To Vato.
Ato rato. You
Oh.
see it?
Vato.
Ato rato. Good. Okay.
I'll quit.
We're asking. You want to keep going, or you can stop, whatever you want.
I'm gonna stop.
Okay. I don't force anybody. I don't want to. I want people to feel comfortable. So, please. Do I have a volunteer to continue? We're almost done. We can finish this. I have confidence. Yes, Andrea and then Arlene Schwartz.
I'll try, but let's see.
Yes.
The yada ta
Good, exactly.
hayom va hashivota
Good.
al or
El.
el
Good.
lavavecha.
The vavacha.
Lavacha.
The vavecha. I should say it correctly. If I'm going to say it. Remember, we have the metek underneath the next to last syllable. Good. Keep going.
Lavavecha. Ki Adonai hu ha-Elohim b'shamayim mi ma'al v'yal
Va'al.
v'al ha'aretz mitachet
Tachat.
mitachat ein od.
Good. Terrific. Okay. So now, since I think Lynette volunteered to be next, and I'm not going to ask any more of that paragraph, but I am going to ask, we always do at the end, we hear either the leader, usually everybody is singing this on Shabbos at least, the box or the line or whatever it is at the bottom, if you're using the textbook, I don't know if it's in here or not. But if you're using one of the Sidurim, it's towards the very end. There'll be some kind of a signet. In the Sim Shalom, it has a box. It starts with V'ne'amar. It's the last sentence in the prayer.
Oh, yeah.
Can you find it? I have Lev Shalem. It's on 205. We're on. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like in this book. 205. Do. Okay. Okay, Elena. Yeah. Okay, it starts earlier than that. Okay, I said one thing and I'm gonna change my mind. There's a carrot in the Lev Shalem, the red book. There's a carrot where it says Kakatuv. In the Sim Shalom, there's a box, but it's the line after Kakatuv. If you go above that line, it says Kakatuv. It's actually not the beginning of a sentence, it's after a comma, but it's followed by a colon. So if you can, people find it, Kakatuv b'Toratecha. It's written in your Torah. Kakatuv b'Toratecha. Kotev is right, and Toratecha is your Torah, talking to God. If you're in the Sim Shalom, it's the third line from the bottom, one word in. And if you're in the Lev Shalem, it's where the carrot is. Katuv b'Toratecha Adonai Yimloch La'olam Va'ed V'ne'amar V'haya Adonai Lemelech Al Kol Haaretz V'yom Hahu Yihiyeh Adonai Echad Ushmo Echad. Okay. So some people will start where the box is and some will start where the Kakatuv. So I figure it doesn't hurt to start a little earlier and doesn't hurt to read a little more. So do I have a volunteer to start with Kakatuv? Cindy, and then Joyce.
Kakatu V'Torah Techa Adonai Yamloch Le'olam Va'ed V'ne'mar V'haya Adonai Lemelech Al Kol Haaretz V'yom Hahu Yehaya Adonai Echad Ushmo Echad.
Yeah.
Good.
No, that wasn't right.
Echad.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Ushmo Echad. That's what you said, I think. That's what I heard.
It is, and then I questioned myself.
That's a word we hear a lot. In the Shema we hear Echad. Okay, his name is one, but Ushmo Echad. Okay, I'm gonna get you.
Before you leave the prayer, where
Yes.
do you do that choreography on the top part? Where are you standing up, bowing down? Lift.
Yimloch, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
Which one? The
Lifnei Melech, before God.
What do you do?
V'anachnu, you bend. V'anachnu korim u'shtachavim u'modim. Lifnei Melech. Okay, you stand up because you're talking before God. Lifnei Melech. So you stand up. Lifnei. Okay.
Okay.
V'anachnu is bent as we go down, and Lifnei we come up. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions about the Elenu? This is also the prayer with a lot of the times your clergy and sometimes even congregants will actually go down on the ground on the high holidays when they do this, when they bow, they really go down. Evidently, it used to be that we all did that. We all really went down when we bowing. We didn't just fool around with bending the knee. But then Christians started bowing, so we stopped bowing. A number of the things that we do is to be different. And that's one of the things that we did something, but we changed because other people were doing it. Yes, Cindy.
I know, I think it's during Yom Kippur, there's a part where the rabbi does go down on the ground, and because they always have
People
honors
around to help them up.
Right, to
Right.
pick, yeah.
The other thing is you're actually supposed to have, this is as long as we're doing this for 2 minutes, you're supposed to have your feet together when you do this, and you're not supposed to move. And one of the reasons that they have the people to pick them up is they're supposed to keep their feet together during this, even when they're getting up.
Oh, wow.
So that's why, yeah, if they could just, whatever to get up, get themselves up, they probably could, but they're supposed to stay there with your feet together, like the angels. I think they had one foot that was together. So that's one of the reasons that oftentimes you have people helping them. Yes, that's the time when we actually, and actually we used to have a couple of congregants that did it, but usually it's the clergy.
Is that the
Actually
one with
go
the
to the
Kohanim? Because they stopped doing that in my temple, with the Kohanim used to do that on Yom Kippur. And then for some
Kohanim?
political reason, then they stopped giving the Kohanim a
That's
special
another whole issue,
prayer
but we'll
then.
get to that. That's another issue. The Kohanim is another issue. That is the blessing of the people. Okay, that used to I forget what they call it, and I'll find it for next semester. If you're here, I'll make sure I'll do that. If not, I'll send a note. The Kohanim bless the people, and it was something that I think it's always done in Orthodox things. I'm not sure. It can be done in Shabbos too, as well as holidays. All holidays, not just Yom Kippur. Some places only do it on Yom Kippur. The Levi'im are supposed to wash the hands of the Kohanim. That was their job. And then the Kohanim did the prayers. I remember this, if you remember this, they used to talk about with Mr. Spock, because he could do it, and actually Mr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy, was a Kohen. And everybody pulls their talis over their heads usually, because you're not supposed to look, because they're channeling God, and you don't want to be like, you want to get the blessing, but you don't want to get it too hard. So you cover your head. You're not supposed to be looking, and that's what you're talking about.
What is it?
Maybe more information than you wanted to know, but we started doing it in our synagogue. Yes.
What does Spock do?
Exactly what you're doing. That's what the Kohen does when they do the brachot, so that they channel over their hands. Was the idea, and that's the sign that they do with their hands. Yeah. Yes, you can do it too, Andrew. Not everybody can do it. I feel like it's not a big deal because I can do it easily. But on the other hand, see, look at that. We all could be Kohanim, but actually, I'm a Levite, so I'm the schlepper, and I wash the hands. I don't do any blessing. I'm a Levite, but I can do it. But his grandson, yes,
I've been told that it's supposed to be the shin.
could be.
Whatever.
Works for me. That sort of looks like a shin. I like it.
Okay.
It works. It works. My grandson can also hold his tongue in, which I can't do that. That I can't do. But
Thank you very much for the explanation. But
the hand I can do. Yeah. So we did it. We did it on the high holidays, and I think we did it one other holiday, because our rabbi really likes it, and he wants to reinstitute it in our synagogue. Okay, Elenu.
One more question.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
The last line of Elenu.
Yes.
So we have Hahu, and then what's the word between that and Adonai? Yeah. It's the last. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Shall be. That's the whatever you call that. I forget. The R is whatever. That shall be. If you ever hear when Moshe, I think it's when Moshe asked God what his name is. He said, I am what I am. I think is what it says. So it's the to be. Okay. On that, okay. Any other thing? Yeah, and sometimes when somebody is reading Torah, they get that confused with the one right after. Because you can see it's very similar to Adonai. It's just that the Yud instead of the Vav, and so it's it can be confusing, but that's what it is. Yeah. Okay. So we did the Elenu. Good. I feel good. Okay, so those are two prayers that we do very frequently. And you know what we're going to do then? We're going to go to the Torah service when we do an Aliyah. We're going to skip to that so that I want everybody to feel good about that. And we're going to skip to the brachot for the Aliyah. So when they call you to the Torah and they say, would you like the honor? And you say, absolutely. Thank you very much for the honor. I'm proud to do it. In the textbook, it's on page 40. In the Slim Shalom, it's 142. And the Lev Shalem, it's 172. Oh, and if you have the Slim Shalom, I forget who that was, it's 400.
Yeah, I have the one with the morning service. Is that the same prayer? Because I found it with the regular daily prayer. It's the same.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I got
Yes,
it on that
yes,
page.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The brachot that you do to come to the Torah, whenever you're coming to the Torah, whether it be Shabbos morning, Shabbos afternoon, Monday morning, Thursday morning, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, whatever day it is, those are the same brachot. Yes, Cindy.
So is it customary to give a donation to the synagogue if you're okay.
I assume you're talking about if you get an aliyah?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And not everybody does, but it is customary. At some point, and especially for the high holidays, some synagogues used to, and actually I know one synagogue that still does, but they do it in advance, auction off the aliyot. Because that's how the synagogue made money. And a synagogue in Greenville, they do it, but they do it beforehand. They don't do it at the service. There are some synagogues, I think Sephardic in particular, I don't know if they still do it, but they have recently, that actually during the service have the auction. They want whoever pays the most money gets the honor. But yeah, and it is just for you. I mean, I try at my synagogue. Because I am a Bat Levi, and they count women as Levi'im, and they don't have a lot of Levis. I get a lot of honors, so I do not give it all the time. But if I'm in a shul that's not my own, and I get an honor, we all try to make a contribution. It is the appropriate thing to do. They won't think you're terrible, but it is an appropriate thing to do. Thank you. Okay, so 142 in Slim Shalom, 172 in Lev Shalem, 40, 400, wherever you are. Any place where you're reading Torah. Baruch et Adonai HaMavarach. The congregation says, Baruch Adonai HaMavarach Le'olam Va'ed. You repeat, Baruch Adonai HaMavarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Okay, now, who did I forget? Joyce, how would you like to read the first line?
Okay. Baruch et Adonai HaMavarach.
Good, and I'm going to say Baruch Adonai HaMavarach Le'olam Va'ed, and you're going to repeat it.
Baruch Adonai HaMavarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Perfect. Okay. Do I have somebody else, or do you want to continue? Somebody else. Everybody could do. Nina, wake up. You want to read? No? Okay. I don't want to force you to do it. If you're in that book, it's on page 40.
Baruch
yes,
Adonai.
No.
Oh, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Notain HaTorah.
Fabulous, Joyce. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Thank you. Making us all look good. Okay, then, and we just discussed, just as long as it doesn't takes 1 minute before you read, you touch, if you're wearing a talit, you take your tzitzit, you touch near the Torah. The Torah reader will show you where to touch the Torah before you do the first bracha. And then when you're going to do after now the Torah reader reads. When the Torah reader finishes their reading, you touch, they're going to show you again where to touch the Torah. You take your tzitzit and you touch it again. If you don't have a talit on, they will usually give you the binder that they use on the Torah. They'll give you that and you touch that. I don't know if everybody's doing that now with COVID. I'm not so sure it's such a great idea with COVID, especially to use the binder, not your talit. But that is the normal way of doing an aliyah to the Torah. Okay, I think Celia volunteered, but first I'll read it anyway. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu, Baruch Ata Adonai Notain HaTorah. A lot of the same words. Okay, Celia.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai notan haTorah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
See?
But
Now,
every
does
time I
anybody else
get
wanna-
up there, it goes,
But it was perfect. It was perfect. There's no reason. Just pretend nobody else is there and you can do it. That was absolutely perfect. There's no
well,
reason. And
Rabbi
if you-
said, nobody else is there. You're talking to God. That makes it really hard.
I was just gonna say, talking about pressure. I mean, there's no, if you really, focus on that, that is real. To me, that's really scary, actually. I agree with you, Celia. But just that you're talking to a friend. God wants to be your friend too. There is a relationship, and it's somebody you have something you have a relationship with, and it cares about you. And just like I care and I want you to do well, so does God, and so does the congregation as well. So it's perfect. Arlene, do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Okay, I'm sorry.
No
When you
problem.
have two questions, when you have that, what is it called? That white thing not the tali, but the
thing that binds the binder.
the binder. Okay. After you put it after the blessing, you put it to where they left off, and then you're supposed to kiss it after? That's what you're supposed to.
It's because you don't, it's like you're kissing the Torah, is the point.
Oh, okay.
It's almost like you're taking it, you're kissing the Torah, but you don't want to kiss the Torah because first of all, you don't want to put your saliva on it and whatever
put it
else. So
down.
instead of actually you touching it, you touch something else, and that touched the Torah, so you kiss it, whether it's your tzitzit or the binder, because it touched the Torah.
But it's after you touch the Torah, you kiss it each time. I mean,
Exactly. It's because almost as if you were kissing the Torah. Then that
Okay.
touched the Torah.
then
You
the
touch
other
that.
one was in the prayer before the Aliyah before the reading.
Yes.
Asher Bahar Banu Mi. Now, what is the next? Is it
Kol.
Kol?
Kol.
Kol. Kol. It is Kol. Mikol Hamim. Okay, Kol.
All. Again, you see kol a lot because it means all.
And it's pronounced Kol.
Kol as an O. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay. All right. So does anybody else want to read that? I would really like all of you to read this. The Aliyah to the. Thank you, Andrew. I'd like everybody to do it. I was listening to one of the other classes, and they had everybody read everything. I think that could be a little boring. But this, I would really like everybody to feel comfortable doing. So, and we don't have that much time.
Can I chant it?
Can you chant it? Absolutely.
Baruch Ata Adonai.
No, I want you to start from the beginning.
Oh.
Okay.
Baruch et Adonai Habarach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Good.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bocher Banu Mikol Hamim V'notan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Perfect. Amen. Okay, now you finish.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Notan Lanu Torat Emet V'Haye Olam Nata B'Tochenu. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Great. Thank you.
Oh.
Okay, anybody else? Arlene, and then Cindy.
I like to try it. I do, and I'm not sure I do it correctly. And then I land up looking at the other on the left. And
Don't look at that. Don't
I
look. Put a paper on top of it.
I get so nervous that I'm going to mess up when I get the Aliyah. You know, it's on Zoom.
Yes, I understand. I told you, I am still, and you know, first of all, I'm not a perfect Hebrew reader, but I can read the blessings before and after the Torah, and I still get anxious when I get up there. And you will hear people get up there and be anxious and make mistakes. It's not the worst thing in the world. I think not the worst thing in the world, God forbid this isn't the worst thing, but when people don't make an effort. Like if somebody's a good Torah reader and they read terribly, because they didn't practice. There's no excuse for that as far as I'm concerned. But if you do your best and I know you can read this, you could do it. Arlene, looking at the transliteration Hebrew. Yes.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvara.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Perfect. Okay. Now we're finished the reading. You finish the bracha.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'Haye Olam Nata B'Tohenu. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Perfect. Just one little thing. It's Torah, not Torah. Natan Lanu Torah. Just so you know that you're going to be perfect when you get up there. Okay? Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet. Okay? Because it's modified, so it adds that sound. It's the Torah of truth.
It makes me cry because in March, I think it was when we started all this, I didn't know a letter in Hebrew. So from the beginning to the advance, to be able to do this, I started to
Amazing. All akavod. It's like a whole new world. I think about it when you look at a sign or look at something and it just looks like scroll. Now it means something. The letters have sounds, and all of you know the letters have sounds, and you know the sounds the letters have.
So when you go up to get the also, I don't have this book that I've been using, the Sim Shalom. They have this card there, and that's another. Maybe I should get a printed copy of the card somehow or other.
You can do that, or the other thing you can do is, I don't know which book you actually use. You could actually bring your book. You could bring your book up with you, and you do it from the book. There's nothing wrong with that.
But there isn't that. It just rattles.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you felt more comfortable, I've done it because one place I wasn't sure they had the card. Whatever, I brought my book up with me. So if you bring your book and read it from your book, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's
Arlene, I bring my book up because the card they have up there is totally stylized and it just
Yeah.
doesn't
so
help.
that's why I said you
It's
can
frozen.
yeah. If
So
that
I'll
it's what
bring
you're
my
used
book.
to. It's what you're used to. I don't know if you know that if you ever when you get to the point of reading Torah, which I will not do, but when you get to the point of actually reading Torah, what people suggest is that you make a copy of the Torah portion you're reading, because it looks different in different Torahs. It's in a different place. So it's the exact same thing when you're talking about something like this. When it looks different, sometimes it's hard. So if you feel more comfortable, there's nothing wrong with this. It's bringing it up with you. So that would be my suggestion. At least, the
Thank you
first
for
time, see if it makes
Yes.
a difference. See if
Thank
it
you.
makes a difference. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else want to do it? Okay. I'm not going to force you because it is now exactly 11:02. So thank you to each of you. It has been a real pleasure. I know other people think they have the best class, but I know I did. That everybody cares and really has learned a lot, and I appreciate it. I hope you continue with your Hebrew in whatever way you do. Yes, Cindy. You're muted still. You're muted, Cindy.
When does the spring semester start?
I think February 4th.
Okay.
February 4th is the first time, and you should be getting notices. I don't know if you signed up, didn't sign up, but yeah, February 4th we're starting the second semester. So please, wherever you do, just please feel comfortable. Everybody loves you. It doesn't hurt to practice. And again, Arlene Fisher is not here anymore. She was on the phone, I think. I am more than happy to help anybody with Hebrew. Just if there's something you want to read and you want to be more comfortable, please. I did put my phone number in, and I would be more than happy to hear from you.